Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's the Eradicator coming up with a surprise, guys. Star Citizen of 3.11.0 is now in Wave 1 PTU. There's no more Evo Caddy NDA, and we can freely talk about it. That is quite awesome. And so we are going to talk about, of course, the patch notes. It's brand new, guys, brand new, fresh news, you know, breaking news. I haven't tried it. I am still downloading it as I am speaking right now. But let's have a look here at some of the new features of Star Citizen of 3.11 that you already know probably. Repainting existing planets and moons, upgraded ground texture geology, front-end refactor that we've seen also inside Star Citizen, prison commissary vending machine updates, the commissary vending machines in prison updated to use metrics and purchase items. Exterior space station green zone removal is also there as well. We've covered that a lot on this channel. It is also including throw force reactions that we will be testing intensively on this channel. Updated space station interior layout that we will also be testing. I cannot wait for that. I'll probably be making a video. I don't have time today. I have a very busy schedule today, but I will be I have a couple of days off because here in Taiwan we're going to have a holiday for the Moon Festival, so I will be making a ton of video for the channel during this 4-day holiday. Missile countermeasure quality of life improvements, which we will be trying as well when we'll be doing PvP and PvE too. Oh my goodness, ships and vehicles, they've increased constellation thrusters, core tech, increased max button limit for joystick, as we talked about before, from 50 to 128 buttons if you have that many buttons. Let's have a look at some of the major bug fixes that we've seen throughout this Evo Caddy phase. Mining nodes should no longer change composition if a player scans it. They fixed a bug that allowed player to sell commodities and mineable resources at any distance while the ship is occupied by another player, which is great because that was kind of like a trade exploit, you know. Diamond icons should no longer remain displayed after the surface deposit has been mined. Hallelujah, this is something that has been bothering me a lot when I was mining, and that's the reason why I was not doing this kind of mineable, because every time I was going back to where I mined before and I realized that I've wasted my time. So I'm glad this is fixed. Fixed a missing geometry inside the caterpillar. Changing armor should no longer cause the moby glass to disappear. Players should no longer fall over and ragdoll when entering EVA. Yes, yes. Space station ASUP terminals should now correctly show the landing pad and is where the landing pad is spawned when looking at the location column. Also, guys, by the way, when you have a ship that spawns, it also tells you the hangar too, which is great because you no longer need to remember what hangar it was and, you know, press on every button on elevators. You are going to see that in your UI, and that is fantastic. Players should no longer tilt suddenly when exiting EVA into a ship if the ship has rotated. Lots of quality of life improvements here in this Star Citizen Alpha 3.11 branch, and I like that very much. It's not very heavy con-wise, but they did improve quality of life by fixing a lot of ongoing bugs that have plagued gameplay experience for many months. Grimex shopping shopkeeper should now be in its correct usable position. The elevator pillars in underground facilities should now have collision. Players should no longer take damage if they fall out of a turret in the constellation. There should no longer be a piece of geometry clipping through the floor and elevator at the arrival area of Hurston L3. Right-clicking on the player in your contact list should no longer make the UI drop. Some of those bugs were very interesting, for sure. Players should no longer A-pose when interacting with the standing engineer station in the hammerhead. The Origin M50 should no longer pitch upwards down when Shulunga pitch down when takeoff. The same with the Saber and the Caterpillar, and as well as the Reliance. So these are bugs that were concerning quite a lot of ships out there. Lower glass windows should no longer become excessively blurry while looking through them when in close-up. The fixed outpost air door locks having no collision. Oh yes, yes, that's true. This is what was happening at New Babbage, for example, when you were going through the New Babbage exteriors. You know, if you were doing a little bit of trade there, you didn't want to go through the starport, and you know, the door was not working. You just had to walk through the door. This apparently is fixed. They also, the waste disposal mission boxes should no longer fall through the floors. Hallelujah, right? Claim jumper mission should now progress further once the player arrives at the claim. The Reliant should now currently cover its own turrets. The Retaliator shields should now cover its own lower thrust. 2. Multi-tool should now be properly stored in long-term persistence. Combat AI should no longer sometimes get stuck. Ship camera should no longer be off position when player calling. Players calling a pilot should now see the player in the pilot seat. They fix 5 client crashes, 7 server crashes. This is not the entire list of bug fixes. It is just a couple, a little list of what I've made for you guys for this video. A couple of more features here that are quite new. So they've updated character creator with new head design. This is not in the roadmap, but it's there nevertheless in Star Citizen of 3.11. They added space station cargo decks, which I am afraid, again guys, I could be wrong, but from what I know, it is just a glorified admin, and there's nothing to do right now. Hopefully in the future, but so far not really. The grenade launcher, which will be extensively tested as well at security post Carré and also at bunkers, is there, as well as the new BR2 shotgun. Do they say where we can buy those? They didn't say. Normally they do say where we can buy those here, but here in the patch note they didn't say where, unfortunately. We still have, however, we still have a couple of known issues. Some of them, one of them is highlighted. Deadlocks may be likely. Ouch. CPU usage can reach 100% when just idling in the game. Please let us know if this is happening. I don't understand why this was released to Wave 1, even though we have something as terrible as CPU usage being reaching 100%. This is pretty bad. Mission givers are leaving their designated areas wandering from their posts. I want to see that. I want to see that. I'm definitely going to check out a mission giver. I want to see mission givers, you know, standing on chairs and going all over the place. That should be quite fun to see. Characters can have 2 different skin tones and not the gender the player pick. Wow, we're gonna have surprise characters. Very cool. NPCs walking around exteriors of CBDs are not posing correctly. That's not new. They've never posed correctly anyway. Ships landed at Lorville cannot be stored. That's okay. They will be automatically stored, so that's not really a problem. HUD elements for enemy ships are massively offset, and ultra resolutions cause them to be invisible to the player. Ship nav markers and target highlights can become detached from ship when pitching up and down and traveling forward. The player can spawn in a dead state, unable to interact or respawn. Oh, this one's pretty. What is the workaround for this? I wish that they could have given the workaround for this. I suppose that we need to log out and log in again when this is happening. The Mantis snare will not prevent other players from complaining their quantum travel. Turrets don't always open fire after respawning. Purchasing oxypens and medpens from the shelf will not place them in the player's inventory. That's a pretty bad one here, especially if you like to do FPS combat. Player are timed out of using kiosk or an SOP terminal after 1 minute when interacting it. So yeah, if you are using a kiosk, be quick, you only have 1 minute until you are timed out. Commodity kiosks at Grimex and Lorville do not let the user select commodities to sell. Specific sentry turrets do not take damage against missiles and torpedoes. They need to fix that ASAP. Global chat text is not always displayed. That's a null bug that they want to fix, obviously, because it's been in the known issues for quite some time. No charges are given to a player that rams and destroys another player, another ship with players. That means that right now, basically, pad ramming is a thing, unfortunately, in 3.11.0 J. Next, we have pilot of a ship containing passengers will be charged with negligent homicide if their ship is rammed by another player. So that's one of those bugs that we saw in previous patches and still there, unfortunately, right? Ramming and destroying other players' ships does not generate a crime. Various tables and chairs around the promenades have template chairs and replace me textures. Some ships and vehicles can be left in a broken state after spawning, and ships can be displayed as unknown after destruction and be available to spawn again, but will not appear on the specific landing pad. A bug, again, that absolutely needs to be fixed. It is how I lost my Cutlass Red in Star Citizen Alpha 3.10. and I really hope for this bug to be fixed in 3.11. This is just the very first one here. There will be, of course, more patches. From what I understand, according to Star Citizen leaks, the targeted release date for the live version is September 10th, which is going to coincide with Digicon, so we will see if they will be able to make it on time. I am downloading still the patch as I'm talking, but there will be a gameplay video. Probably I'll try to make one tonight when I come back from work. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy 3.11. Please tell me in the comments down below how it is, and I'll keep you updated ASAP. This is the Eradicator, and I'll see you guys later.